Hi, Steve here. Well, this is it for 2023. This video will expose things you may have not even heard of before, but they're very real and they're coming to this world, and some are already here. Based on everything we're seeing in this world now, it's easy to see that 2024 will be a time when the world will witness the unignorable. Ventura, California just experienced a mini tsunami that the Weather Service had already been warning about. The National Weather Service was warning people in coastal areas to be on the alert and avoid low-lying or danger-prone areas close to the sea.
Oh, God! Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! God! God! Jesus! Oh my God! Oh no.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
The U.S. firmly supports the right of all peoples to emigrate. We have consistently supported this in our bilateral talks with other countries, and we have supported it strongly in the United Nations.
Your class has an incredible window of opportunity to lead in shaping a new world order.
We immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are.
When I win the presidency, I want you to immediately surge the border. Tens of thousands at the Eagle Pass alone. Thousands being let through an hour. Major railways on the U.S. border shut down, trade unable to come in, so that the Border Patrol can facilitate the biggest surge ever seen. Normally December and January are the lowest numbers. This is the biggest numbers ever.
Tens of thousands of more migrants. Look at this video just obtained from our Fox sources. It's about 3 hours south of Piedras Negras, the town behind me. They are trying to get on this train. You can hear them cheering as the train goes by. They can't get on the train, our source says, because that train, which he's riding on, is already at full capacity with migrants hanging off of it.
And in 2021, the Biden administration turned sports stadiums, football stadiums, concerts, convention centers, they closed them all down because of COVID. And these stadiums were making their money by renting them out to the Biden administration. So you had 3,000 kids in a convention center in San Antonio. You had 4,000 kids in a convention center in Dallas, Texas.
They were exempt. Then the Democrats skim a bunch of money off the top, then sign them up to work jobs, slave labor in many cases for children, sex slavery, you name it. It's in the New York Times even admits it.
$451 billion a year to care for, process the illegal migrants in this country. Cost of the border wall would have been about $15 billion. We couldn't even get $5 billion when Trump was in office. And we controlled the Congress and the Senate. Couldn't even get $5 billion. It was too expensive. It's too much money.
Also, starting January 1st, California will become the first state in the nation to offer health insurance to undocumented immigrants.
Under the expansion, more than 700,000 people between the ages of 26 and 49 will be eligible for Medi-Cal.
They can't stop you from voting.
If I vote, will immigration know where I live? Will they come for my family and deport us?
Not true. The saying of the vote is strictly confidential in terms of who you voted for. If you have a family member who maybe is undocumented, then you have an even greater reason to vote.
Project Veritas has received an explosive piece of tape. The tape you're about to see shows a man buying a registration form for an absentee ballot from a voter, giving him, quote, pocket money, unquote, of $200 and expecting to collect his ballot when the voter receives it.
She's the one who came up with all this.
So she did it. She started this whole thing with the pay to vote.
Yeah.
So the people that work for Ilhan are actually counting the ballots, counting the vote.
And they become a manager in the prison too.
They were told to come here, and they say, thank you, Biden, we'll be voting Democrat. They're being made to be police officers.
So my husband owns a gun shop, and he just called me to tell me that the ATF has made updates to their background check policy, and effective today, they give an exemption to illegal immigrants to be able to purchase firearms. Now, this strangely coincides with California, New York, and Chicago making it legal for illegals to be police officers.
This is the globalists bringing in their Red Dawn force so they can all get signed up for welfare and get immigration lawyers. They all make fabulous amounts of money off these people.
I love how the media says that this is a conspiracy theory, yet they've literally found documentation, literature. For goodness sake, sometimes these people have cell phones that they're actually given in order to organize these massive marches to the U.S.-Mexico border.
The terrorist is the fellow who brought him here. The terrorist is the EU. The terrorist is the UN. The terrorist is the WEF. They are using migrants as weapons to demoralize our people, to force them to accept a new way of living with high crime, high rape, high murder, high drugs all over our country.
The same non-governmental organizations, NGOs funded by the State Department, the EU, George Soros, who gets government money, that broke Europe in the last 15 years, over 20 million Islamists and others.
I did overstate slightly the danger facing the European Union, namely that it's facing disintegration. And that was a slight exaggeration.
Your country is Islam?
Yeah, my country is Islam.
So let me ask you the same question I asked him. If a Muslim country went to war with the UK, who would you side with?
Obviously the Muslim country.
Obviously the Muslim country, eh? So you're a traitor to the UK?
Traitor to what? The government done nothing for us. No.
Exactly. So you have no loyalty to the UK, you're loyal to Islam.
Exactly.
Mainly military-age men, over 80%, upwards of 90% never get a job, ran the invasion of Europe. That's how we knew what would happen here. It's done with UN NGOs that for months brainwash people in camps, give them credit cards, give them cell phones, tell them where to go, what to do to be signed up with NGOs, to be given taxpayer money up to $90,000 per person in some cases, or per family.
Here we are in Eagle Pass, and that guy right there, he carries all the people's bags across, so when they get here, they don't have to carry their bags. That's his job.
And the same UN NGOs are in Central and South America directing all of this in the United States. It's all done on purpose. We're talking about by the middle of next year, 1 million people a month coming through. This is now. This is going down.
You can feel it. Something is off. Things are getting stranger by the day. Just a coincidence, or is something more sinister happening right under our noses?
We want to warn you now, this next story is disturbing.
Namely, in earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people, literally, than physically to kill 1 million people. Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people. It is easier to kill than to control.
I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us. It's a planet of finite resources and we're using them up.
First, we've got population. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The true ruling elite are a death cult. Pure evil. The elite are extremely wealthy. They have more money than you can think of. So why would they want even more money, even more control? It's because they use their wealth and power to execute their agenda, to live out their evil. If you think this is just conspiracy theory, think again. Look around you. Everything benefits them and not humanity. The globalists have a religion. To the public, it's sold as climate change or the global crisis. What is the basis of the climate change agenda? It's population control. It's depopulation. The elite look at us as parasites that need to be controlled and killed. There is an unelected network that controls what the public sees. Plausible deniability is their cover. They are playing dumb on every level to gaslight us. The same agendas throughout history are presented differently with the same goals. The elite are becoming restless and are now out in the open with who they really are. Corruption in the government is just the tip of the iceberg. The upper echelon at the top have an anti-human agenda. Threats of world war, but behind the scene, it's more about control and backdoor dealings between world governments. The open border, drug trafficking, human trafficking is covered up and controlled by our own government. It's deeper than that. There is a reason why most of these corruption networks never get shut down. These anti-humanists control mostly everything. You'd be shocked to know what the people in most power positions really think of the general public. The elite's corruption network operates like prison gangs or like a mafia, but on a larger scale. Blackmail, controllers, handlers, money laundering. If you want to stay rich and powerful, you'll have to do their dirty work. They have their hands in everything. A lot of these players simply love the spotlight. Most of the celebrities, politicians, CEOs love the fame and fortune. But the ones at the top of these groups are completely evil. Many become unwillingly controlled by signing on into the club without knowing what they are actually involved with behind the scenes. Most of humanity is asleep and distracted by meaninglessness. The elite are warning us of a cyber attack, also known as a digital 9/11 event. The economy would collapse if we suffered an internet shutdown. The modern power grid relies on the internet to coordinate power plants. Without it, each country's national grid will become unbalanced, and local outages escalate into a blackout for most of the world. A society slipping into chaos will allow the elite to reset and rebuild a world for themselves. There will be events leading up to a total collapse: domestic terror attacks, biological attacks, world wars. With each event, more and more control is gained. Time is running out. If society suffers from any of these trigger events, there might be no turning back. Humanity is at the crossroads. This is happening right now. We need to reject the global agenda and know who the world rulers really are and what they are up to. The fight for humanity is happening now.
In the book of Daniel, we get some real insights. The angel told Daniel about the man of sin and about the people that do know God and walk with him. It says, with smooth words of flattery and praise, he will turn to godlessness those who are willing to disregard the Mosaic covenant, but the people who are spiritually mature and know their God will display strength and take action to resist. I believe in the same way that the Christians who walk with the Lord and in his righteousness and prove their love by keeping his commands will be sustained by the power of his Spirit in them and the power of God over them in 2024 and in these coming years. If you don't have a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ and would like one, I leave a link in the description box below. Just go down there, click on it. It'll take you to a page that will help lead you in a simple prayer to begin your relationship with the true and living God. I'll see you next year. May God's best be on you and your family.